punt.
Best offensive player and their best defensive player.
Welcome to the Outback Endzone podcast. We have a very special guest today, one we've been looking forward to getting on for a while, Jayden O'Rourke.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Great to have you, mate. As I said, we've been trying to tee this one up for a while now. Your story speaks for itself. It's not the classic Australian pathway to college football. A bit of a different background. You're playing a different position. You play the tight end. Standing 6'9", you are a tall fella. I don't know how you kept all the Aussie rules scouts away, mate, because no doubt you would have a few people knocking on the door to get you in the ruck. But, mate, very looking forward to having a chat. I guess kicking off where we are, you're at Nevada now. How's things over there at the moment?
Yeah, really good. I'm super excited for this year. This will be my 4th season, so I'm excited to step into sort of a bigger role this year, and it looks like we're going to have a good team, and we're rebuilding from the previous years, and I think this is going to be a breakout year for us. So it's going to be great.
That's epic, mate. We'll definitely be looking forward to tuning into that one.
Yeah.
What sort of stage are you guys in like pre-season now? I guess you guys call it off-season. You're still a fair way off the start of the season, but from most people we're sort of chatting to, things are starting to ramp up now. Have you guys had a spring game yet? How's that all looking?
Yeah, so I basically break it up into our season. The whole year is sort of quarters, in my opinion. So the first bit is winter workout. So that'll be about January, February, and then spring balls, March, April, which is when you start doing some football stuff and you'd have a spring game. So we'd already had our spring game end of April, and then sort of May, June, and July is our summer workouts. So right now we're doing just a lot of lifting, running, conditioning, and just getting ready for August when we get into fall camp, and then the season after that. So
the fun stuff, eh? The fun stuff. Man, I guess we've chatted to a lot of Aussies that come from like the special teams background of like what that sort of looks like. From like the tight end position, what's different when you're going through like those workouts and like the cardio, as you say, does the whole team do that together, or is it positionally like broken up a bit?
So from what I've heard, I've been at Nevada my whole career, but from what I've heard, some schools do it differently. Each school has their own thing. So we'll do a mix of, we'll have offense and defense workouts where all the offense is together, defense is together. Then we'll have bigs and skills workouts where it's like all the wide receivers, DBs are together, and offensive line, defensive line are together. And then we'll have full team lifts as well, where the whole team runs together. And I like it that way because you sort of get to work out with a bit of everyone. So depending on the day, you're working out with the D-line, and then next day you're working out with the receivers, and then could be working out with the specialists. So keeps it changing. And the specialists at our school do pretty much everything we do. Obviously practices are a bit different because they only have a very specific role, whereas as a tight end, there's so much stuff that we got to know and got to do. So our practices are a bit more demanding and full, but everyone's got a role and everyone's got to fulfill it. So
it's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it because the tight end position is an interesting one. It's one of the more complicated positions. You're basically playing 2 positions at once. I guess we'll rip into a little bit later about the learning curve. But before we go into that, I want to go into growing up in Australia. You're a Gold Coast boy, is that correct?
Yeah, so I grew up in Coolangatta, so actually right on the border, technically on the New South Wales side. But I was born in Queensland, first house is in Queensland, so I'm a Queenslander. But I grew up playing surfing a lot with my family, and then playing rugby. So I played South Tweed Rugby League till I was about 12 or 13. And then I started growing a bit, and my brother was playing AFL, so I switched over and started playing Australian football, and I played that till I was about 16. So like 4 years, and then just wanted to change and thought American football was really cool. I always watched it. And then I ended up playing for the Gold Coast Stingrays, which is a club up in Nerang. And I played there for a few years before I came over here.
Mate, that's incredible. And where did your love for American football sort of come from? Were you a big NFL fan growing up, or did someone introduce it to you?
Honestly, like I've always tried to pinpoint one moment, and it's difficult because I think you always see it. It's in the media and everything because it's so big worldwide now. And back then, I remember getting up early, like on a weekend, and it would be our Monday morning. They'd be playing the Sunday afternoon games on 7 Mate. And I have like really good memory of watching games early Monday mornings if it was school holidays or something. And then I remember when I was 16, so right as I was finishing AFL, not finishing, but I just wasn't sure if I liked it.
Mm.
I went to Hawaii with my mum and my grandparents, and we went and watched a University of Hawaii game. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like just the atmosphere, and I got to see it in person. And that's when I was like, oh, I just want to play. Like it was never my dream to like play college football. I just wanted to just play because I thought it was so cool and it was just different. And I just got around it and I loved it. So
That's so cool. I can imagine how like going to a game in Hawaii, seeing a bit of highlights from Billy Gowers last season, like what that
yeah,
atmosphere, beautiful area, or what a
yeah.
place to live. Yeah, getting a little taste for college football. I think that would suck a lot of young Aussies in, man. So that's really cool. And I guess you came back from there and we were like, all right, I need to find like a club. Where can I sort of play? What was that process like?
So I'm pretty sure before I went to Hawaii, I'd like heard of the Stingrays and like seen a couple things and I thought it could be cool, but I live in Coolangatta and the Rang's 45 minutes away,
Far
40
out.
minutes, especially in traffic. And so I was sort of never like, and I enjoyed playing AFL at the time and then as soon as I saw that game, I was like, all right, I really want to play. And then my parents actually worked with one of the coaches at the Stingrays and they ended up talking to him and then they were like, oh, just come and try for a couple days. And so I went up for a couple sessions and at that point they were just doing conditioning, but I just got along with the guys really well. And I was like, oh, I just want to play for a season. So gave up Australian football and tried it out.
There you go. And did you go straight into the tight end position? Did you play a range of positions? What was that like when you first started?
So when I first played, they had a under 16s age group. And because it's hard for them to get the numbers, well, at that time, it's even smaller back then than it is now. And that was only 6 years ago.
Mm.
They played 9-man football. So
Okay.
they had two less offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a tight end when I was playing. It was just 4 receivers, 3 linemen, and quarterback, running back. So I played receiver, and I just got thrown into receiver. I didn't even like choose where I was going. I was just like, oh, like I'll just go do this. And so I played receiver the first 2 years because I was playing that 9-man football. And
Mm.
then I took a year off because of COVID. I was the border complications and all that because I
Oh,
was on the side. And then 2021, I played for the men's side, and that's when I sort of jumped into more of a tight end role, but it wasn't really a true tight end, just how we played. So
yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Did you have any Jayden O'Rourke legacy games that you want to bring up where you went for a crazy amount of yards or touchdowns?
I don't know yards off the top of my head or touchdowns, but there was definitely a few games. There was always that men's year where I played my last year there.
Mm.
The Ravens they won the league, I don't know how many years in a row, but always unbeatable. And there was a couple games we got super close and that honestly were probably my best games, even though we didn't win. It was just so good to see the whole boys because we were such a young group. We came through the
Mm.
under 16s to the men's side.
Far out.
And so we were probably most of us were 18 years old and we're playing this team that's won however many games. And we stuck it to them and we really gave them a run for their money. And like, not only me, everyone played well. And yeah, those were some of the best. Those are the games I remember because we had blowout wins and probably had more catches, but those games, the tough ones where you make it count. So
Yeah, mate, they are definitely the ones you remember.
yeah.
I guess the recruiting process, it's a little bit different to like the classic sort of pro kick story for a lot of the Aussie college players we've spoken to. What was that like for you? How did you get in touch with colleges? Was it your local team that helped you out?
Yeah, so there was a couple guys on that under 16s team that started going to prep schools one specifically in Canada. So they would basically go to a high school and play high school football.
Sure.
And I didn't want to do that because I wanted to finish high school at home. I wanted to do my HSC. And that was sort of my first idea of like, oh, you can play overseas. Like, even though it wasn't college football, they were playing high school football. And I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. And
Mm.
as I went down the line, there was a few players, one specifically, Jayden, he played a couple years above me in the Stingrays. He went to an NAIA school, but he was born in America, so he had American citizenship, and he got recruited. And I was sort of like, all right, this is possible. And then I got in contact with PPI, which is a recruiting agency. It's mostly based in Europe, but they do some combines out here.
Yeah.
And I attended one of their combines when I was 16 and nothing came of it. And then I did another one when I think I would have been 17 or 18. And then they selected me to do a tour around campuses in the US. And so I took a gap year once I finished high school. And it's honestly one of the craziest experiences of my life. I was in this minivan and there was probably 30 of us from 16 different countries all around Europe. There was one other Australian, and we would go to basically started in Atlanta and then drove all the way to Texas. So we went to LSU, Texas A&M, SMU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, then went up to Penn State. So through like West Virginia, Penn State, Temple. And then I did some visits on my own with schools that were interested in me. And I was just doing camps every day and just meeting coaches. And that's sort of what progressed me into being recruited. And then I came home, played that final season, and all the coaches that I'd met on that tour, I would like send my film to, and I would post I had this Twitter account, which is what all the coaches use. And I would just post workout videos, highlight videos, whatever I could pretty much every day, sending messages out, just trying to like get an opportunity.
Mate, that hustle speaks for itself. One, having the commitment to go over there. That trip sounds wild. I feel like that's something I would absolutely love to do, going on that bus tour from college to college to college. That sounds sick. But the fact that like you got back, you doubled down on the film, you were sending it every day, like, man, it's a testament to why you got recruited to such a great school like Nevada. And I guess as we sort of progressed to that part of your career now, what was it like that sort of first year being with only Aussie on the team? Was there any other international boys? What was that like moving country?
Yeah. So the funny thing was, Nevada wasn't one of the schools that I went to. They had actually got the coach that recruited me was originally at UCLA when I first contacted him. And then he moved to Nevada and then gave me the scholarship offer, and I committed and I came. And I hadn't been on a visit, so I was basically going in blind. I'd never met the coaches, hadn't been there. I just was looking it up on Google, and I did a lot of research. Like, I knew the coaches, I knew the place, and it's where I wanted to be. I liked the conference. I wanted to be on the West Coast. And so I came in and didn't have the greatest start. You get like 3 weeks to get cleared. Oh, it's probably 2 weeks where they take your blood, do physicals, eye tests, like check your eligibility. And halfway through that, I got COVID. So I was in this apartment and then I was isolated for about a week. And so I was just alone, and these guys I just met were like handing me food and stuff. And then
no.
I come out and we go through the first set of winter workouts. And we do these things called mat drills, which is like toughness day sort of thing where you do a bunch of agility stations with conditioning. And I was doing my second one of those, and I ran around a cone and tore my meniscus.
Far out.
I'd been there for about 3 weeks and got COVID and tore my meniscus and had surgery a couple of days later. But it wasn't a bad tear, so they just cut out the end of it.
Yeah.
So the recovery wasn't crazy. It was maybe 2-3 months. So I just missed spring ball and I was good for the season. And then that first season was a big learning curve. Like, the level from Australia to Division 1 college football is a big jump. And not to say that I think there's a lot of athletes out there in Australia that could quite easily jump in and learn it, and there's so many opportunities out there, but just the detail that they go into here, it's like when I was in Australia, I had maybe 4 or 5 routes that I ran, and that was what I was running every play. And then if I was blocking, it was either I'm going left or I'm going right.
Yeah.
So it's like I come in here and there's so many schemes, and it's like, all right, you could run this route, but if they have this defense, you got to run this way and stop here. And then even blocking like this front and this player, then you got to hand him off to him. And at that first fall camp, I was honestly all over the place. I was trying to figure it out. I was determined. So I was watching film, and I slowly got better and better, and I could see myself getting better. And then I made my way up to the second on the depth chart. So we probably had maybe 7 tight ends then, and I made my way up. And then the top guy got injured, and I ended up starting a couple games my freshman year. And that was a big eye opener for me, just to realize how far I'd come.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
It's a testament to obviously the coaches and stuff trusted you as well to put you in the starting position, because realistically, I think that is such a good point. There are a lot of talented athletic Australians that could play an offensive or defensive position at college football, but learning how, especially when you don't grow up with it as well, you're not learning it from a young age. You're picking it up when you're 16, 17, learning the different routes and everything else that goes into it. Absolutely incredible. So that's genuine testament to you there, mate. I guess moving into that second season, how did the second season go?
So the second season was a bit up and down for me. We had, so obviously the guy that was ahead of me, he transferred out, and then they brought in a 6-year guy and had some other freshmen come through. And I ended up playing in 7 games, just different packages, special teams. I was honestly still learning, still getting used to the playbooks and stuff. And I actually went to Hawaii, so full circle, to play Hawaii. And I was doing a slice block, which is where you come basically behind the offensive line, and then I'm slicing the opposite defensive end, shoulder charge basically. And I'd fractured my scapula halfway through the season. So I ended up being injured for most of that year, which was disappointing, but I was glad it was nothing permanent. So I'm fully healed. And so that was just a season where I learned a lot, but I didn't get to show what I wanted to learn, what I learned. That makes sense. So.
What is the process over there? How is the team doctors and the physios, and what's the process when you do get injured overseas? Because some of the facilities we've seen over there, have blown my mind.
Yeah, it's honestly really good. Lots of people from home don't understand how much really goes into the college football teams. So if I get hurt, say I broke my shoulder, I go to those maybe 4 or 5 team physios basically, and then student physios as well, and they'll check you out. And then we have a team doctor on standby who is able to give a diagnosis or have a look and offer prescriptions or anything. And then they'll have surgeons that are associated with the team. And so everything's covered by the university as well. So nothing's out of pocket, but it's super nice to be able to, you get injured and you're down, but it's all right, you're straight into surgery a couple days later, like you're getting scans straight away. There's no wait. If you have questions, there's so many people to ask, and then they're doing rehab with you every day. And like, it's the fastest possible way to get you back and get you
Yeah.
diagnosed if you have something wrong. So I'm very grateful for that and to be able to have that at my disposal.
Yeah, that's already like leagues above some of the best sporting leagues in Australia and best sporting teams in Australia. So
Yeah.
that's good they've got those sort of facilities. And we move on to last season, mate. Run us through to your third year.
Yeah. So third year coming in, I felt the best I'd felt since I've been here, like play wise and mindset wise. I think confidence was a big thing my first 2 years, because it was hard coming from Australia and learning all that stuff, to be confident, to like be like, all right, I'm going to own it. And whereas last year was the first year where I was like, all right, like I feel good. And so we had 2 6-year guys. So I was learning behind them. I still ended up playing in every game. I was on kickoff return teams, field goal teams. I would go in halfway through or end of the game if we were winning or losing, whatever, give the guys a rest. So I still got to play quite a bit, but sat behind those guys, and those guys were some of the best tight ends we had in the conference. One's at Texas Tech now, and the other one's going for the NFL. So it was great to sort of learn off them. And then it was my first season where I got to fully see the season out, like traveling to every game, being in every game. And so that's sort of given me a lot of confidence going into this year. And I got to play in some great environments like Penn State, and
That would
there
have been
was,
nuts.
yeah, like just places that you'd never dream of playing coming from Australia, and just being there was just surreal. So I'm excited for this year to carry that. I feel like I'm taking steps up every year, and this year's going to be good. So.
Sounds like as well, mate. Like getting healthier, learning more. Like I feel like all the last 3 seasons are going to come together and be what really makes that fourth and final year for you. Before we move on from like playing at some of those, like playing at Penn State, for anyone that hasn't like watched college football experience, what is that like? Because I can't compare it to anything.
Yeah. No, it was insane. Like I remember they were renovating the stadium at the time. And so they had like demountable stadium areas. They still had, it was packed house because it was the opening game. So it was 106,000, I think.
All right.
And there's like, we're in this little tin shed for a locker room because they're renovating the away rooms. And there's like people on the outside, like chanting and banging, and you're walking along, and they've meshed this fence area off. So you can't see them, but you can hear the fans on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the smaller games, you can hear what they're saying because they're trying to get in your head. And so they'll do some rogue stuff. Penn State, there was just so many people that it's just a roar. Like you can't even hear what they're saying. And then you walk out there and everyone's in the same color, and there's just like a sea of people. And once you get out there, though, it's like you don't even really think about it. Like it's just it feels like they're far away because there's just so many people that you're just going, like you just black out and just go.
I don't even know how I'd react to 106,000. 106,000 cheering for the other team. Just
There may be a couple hundred cheering for us.
Yeah. Feel like the siblings and mates that made the trip.
Yeah, exactly.
We do a segment on our podcast called the Sunday Sledge. When you were talking about maybe some of the other teams that have dished it out, have you ever copped any sledges? Any memorable ones?
I remember one. I think we were playing Utah State, and their student section's right behind where we sit. And obviously, because I'm really tall, there was this one guy just chirping me the whole time, and he knew I was from Australia. He probably looked it up or something. And he was like, "Oh, basketball career didn't work out for you," and like just going on about how I should have played basketball. And it was just you honestly don't listen to them. And I think it's quite funny when they say stuff like that, just whatever, and shake it off and don't
Yeah.
take offense. And especially Utah State, it's a lot of Mormons out there. So they're
Mm.
not swearing at you. They're not like nothing derogatory, but they're just, it's honestly, they're kind of nice about it, but funny.
Oh, I feel like in Australia we get quite quick to like cross the line when we start
Yeah.
sledging. So it's nice having a respectful sledge here and there.
Yeah, for sure.
It is quite funny. Like they literally go into full detail. They'll look someone up. Like I've been to
Yeah.
baseball games in America where like it'd be someone, a player that no one's ever heard of, and all of a sudden someone's bringing up their childhood stories and whatnot.
Yeah.
It is
It's
definitely,
crazy. Yeah.
it is full on for sure, mate. So I guess as we sort of touched on like your fourth year, what is the ultimate goal? What are you chasing? And what does that look like for you?
Yeah. So my biggest thing right now is I take a year at a time. So this year I'm just chasing like make as big of an impact on the offense as I can. So I want to start. I have a bunch of goals laid out, but I'm just focusing on this year, especially with college football right now because they're implementing the new 5-for-5 rule.
Mm.
And so uh, previously this would have been my last year because I never redshirted. So every year I played in 6 or more games. So
Yeah.
use that red shirt to get that extra year. And so now with the 5-for-5, I might have another year of college football. So I was thinking like, okay, this is going to be my last year. Like, ideally, play as good as you can and you take that as far as you can go. And obviously the main goal is the NFL. But now that I have that extra year, I've just got more options. So
Mm.
I still have to see if I'll get that extra year. But yeah, I'm just focusing on this year and trying to set myself up to have the best next year and then the best next year. And so 1 year at a time.
Yeah, with how it seems like that each year, with every step you've taken, that another year as well. Like, God, that would be
Yeah.
incredible. Because they have made like a lot of changes to college football at the moment. For someone that hasn't like kept up to date, what is like the 5-for-5 rule? How would you explain it?
So basically, previously, athletes got 5 years to play 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So you can use this thing called a red shirt, which is where if you play 4 or less games, you can get an extra year. So you can play that year and then play all 5. But the 4 or less games, you could take 1 snap at the end of the game, and that counts as a game. So you can't see the field at all outside of those 4 games. And so that was the old rule. And they also had medical red shirts. So like you get hurt off before you've played in 4 games, then you
Mm.
can take that as a red shirt and get another year. And then when COVID happened, there was a shortened season. And so they gave everyone that year an extra year. And then there's no age limits. So like a lot of the Australian punters are quite old. Well,
Mm.
not super old, but 25, 26,
Yeah.
because they come out of playing Australian football and then go in. And so they could finish college when they're 30.
Mm.
Whereas now they're trying to stop players from being in college for 7, 8 years with medical red shirts, COVID years.
Yeah.
They're like, as soon as you enroll in college, you get 5 years, or if you turn 19, you get 5 years. So
Okay.
they're trying to keep it the same age group. Everyone gets 5 years, no matter how many games you play, and that's just the rules. Like, so that'll be what it is moving forward.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, yeah, fingers crossed that goes through because another year of you dominating there, that
Yeah,
sounds perfect. Well, mate, I've got a few quick hitting questions for you, as we sort of wrap it up. Who's been like one of the toughest defensive players you've come up against?
well, that's a good question. Honestly, like there was some guys at obviously Penn State. I played Minnesota. They were really good, but one of the guys on our team, Dylan, He's just a workhorse. Like, so going up against him every day at practice, and it just makes you better. So obviously there's guys that you play in the games, but the guys that you play in the games aren't going against you every day. So the constant competition against someone that's good, and he was first team all conference last year. So he's set up for a good season again, and I'm excited to get more reps against him to make myself and him better. So I would pick him.
That's awesome, mate. I love that, choosing your teammate.
Yeah.
Do you have a funniest teammate?
Oh, there's a few good ones. I'd have to give it to, I'd say Luke Duncan. He's a new quarterback from UCLA. We got along really good, and he's got some good one-liners. So give him a shout
I,
out.
I think it's so cool when you meet so many different so especially like America's so different from East Coast to West Coast to like the Midwest. You get a lot of like different people, like a lot of different sort of backgrounds and growing up. So you meet a lot of different characters. You meet some funny people as well.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's good.
One of my favorite things to talk about is some of the gym freaks. Hearing stories like how much some of these guys are squatting. Like, what's the craziest thing you've seen in the gym from one of your teammates?
Oh, they're all like insane. Like coming from Australian rules background is like we did gym workouts and run, but it's not like you're not lifting crazy heavy because you got to be mobile and conditioned. And whereas some of these guys are just like compact, powerful humans that are just like squatting 600 pounds, which is 250 to 300 kilos just for 6 reps. Like it's insane. And they do it, looks so easy. And it's just, it blows my mind, especially like you'd be surprised. Some of the small running backs, like the smaller guys that lift insane numbers, and it's just mind blowing. Like you didn't think that was possible. Like, but college football has some of the craziest athletes, like just size wise, because you got the big offensive linemen that can lift crazy amounts. And then you go to the next rack and it's this little DB who's lifting the same amount. And you're like, oh, it's mind blowing.
That is mental. That is mental. God, I'd snap in half at the thought of it, I reckon.
Yeah.
Mate, who's a tight end, either like NFL or college football that you've modelled your game off?
I don't know about one specific tight end. Honestly, at the start of my college career, I sort of looked for a lot of taller tight ends. Because I'm almost like oversized. Like the NFL.
Yeah, you'd be one of the tallest. I can't think of a tight end in the NFL that's 6'9".
Nah, there might be on some squad. I think there was a guy at Texas Tech last year that was 6'9". So I'm definitely in the range, but definitely at the higher end. And so I sort of like, it's hard because in like our film session, you watch like George Kittle, Brock Bowers, and like, they're obviously not my height. So some of the stuff they do good is different to some of the stuff I could use. So I'd say my biggest person I've tried to model off would be my coach for the last 3 years has been Virgil Green. He played for the Broncos. He was a tight end. He won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. So
there you go.
He played in the NFL for 10 years, and he's not a tall, like he is tall, but he's 6'4", so not 6'9", but his mentality and stuff, I've just tried to take into my game, because if I can take his mentality and technique at 6'4" and utilize it at 6'9", then it's a game changer. So he's been my biggest mentor past years and stuff, and especially having him a relationship with him outside of football too. Like I'm not just watching him do drills, like we'll have conversations and hang out, and I go to his house and stuff. So that's been great.
That's epic, mate. I think, having a mentor is someone like that, especially when you're overseas, away from your family and mates. No doubt, like you've made heaps more mates, but still difficult. When we're traveling over there for a couple weeks, you know, after a couple weeks, you sort of start missing your mates and friends. So I can't imagine
Oh,
over.
yeah. Yeah.
We'll wrap it up from there. Honestly, we can't thank you enough for sitting down with us and having a chat. Such a cool story. And I think
Yeah.
probably the thing I'd like to end it on is if there's any Aussies that are coming through, they might be going through like the juniors gridiron pathway. And they're watching college football, they're watching NFL. What would be your message to them to have a crack and sort of chase the dream that you're doing right now?
I think like I when I was starting in Australia, I doubted myself a lot because I was like, oh, like it's not possible. Like, and as you start seeing people come through, like there was a bunch of maybe 5 or 6 guys that came through around the same years as me, and it's like it's not impossible. Like it's super easy, and you don't need someone to go do it for you. Like you just put yourself out there, start marketing yourself on social media, and like there's so many guys, Australian football, rugby, that could easily come over and learn. And that's the biggest thing is like you got to be able to learn. Like coming from Australia, you can't just think that you're going to go straight in, and it's a different game over here. So you have to be prepared to put in the effort, your initial stages of your career to set yourself up for the end. But it's so worth it. You get free education, experiences that you can't pay for, and I wouldn't change a thing. So
That's incredible, mate. That's such a great message. Well, we'll be wishing you all the best going into your 4th and not final year. Fingers crossed.
yeah,
We'll definitely be watching closely, mate. We can't wait to watch you put it all together and have a ripper year. So we appreciate you joining us, Jayden. You have a ripping day, mate.
thank you. Thanks for having me.